Well, should you still deliver monotonous PPT presentations? Apparently, you want to make them more efficient. Well, we'll come to that. But before, let's hear from the horse's mouth what Jeff has to say, why he has banned these PPT presentations at Amazon.
Can you actually describe the crisp document? Like, this is one of the legendary aspects of Amazon, of the way you approach meetings. This is the 6-page memo.
Six-page memo.
First describe the process of running a meeting with memos. And
meetings at Amazon and at Blue Origin are unusual. When we get when new people come in, like a new executive joins, they're a little taken aback sometimes because the typical meeting will start with a 6-page narratively structured memo, and we do study hall. For 30 minutes, we sit there silently together in the meeting and read. Take notes in the margins, and then we discuss. And the reason, by the way, we do study, you could say, I would like everybody to read these memos in advance, but the problem is people don't have time to do that, and they end up coming to the meeting having only skimmed the memo, or maybe not read it at all, and they're trying to catch up. And they're also bluffing like they were in college, having pretended to do the reading.
Yeah, exactly.
It's better just to carve out the time for people.
And do it
So now
together.
we're all on the same page. We've all read the memo. And now we can have a really elevated discussion. And this is so much better from having a slideshow presentation, a PowerPoint presentation of some kind, where that has so many difficulties. But one of the problems is PowerPoint is really designed to persuade. It's kind of a sales tool. And internally, the last thing you want to do is sell. You're truth seeking. You're trying to find truth. And the other problem with PowerPoint is it's easy for the author and hard for the audience. And a memo is the opposite. It's hard to write a 6-page memo. A good 6-page memo might take 2 weeks to write. You have to write it, you have to rewrite it, you have to edit it, you have to talk to people about it, they have to poke holes in it for you. You write it again. It might take 2 weeks. So the author, it's really a very difficult job. But for the audience, it's much better. So you can read a half hour and there are little problems with PowerPoint presentations too. Senior executives interrupt with questions halfway through the presentation. That question's going to be answered on the next slide, but you never got there. Whereas if you read the whole memo in advance, I often write lots of questions that I have in the margins of these memos, and then I go cross them all out because by the time I get to the end of the memo, they've been answered. That's why I save all that time. You also get, if the person who's preparing the memo, we talked earlier about groupthink and, the fact that I go last in meetings and that you don't want, your ideas to kind of pollute the meeting prematurely. The author of the memo has kind of got to be very vulnerable. They got to put all their thoughts out there and they've got to go first, but that's great because it makes them really good. And you get to see their real ideas and you're not trampling on them accidentally in a big, PowerPoint presentation.
What's that feel like when you've authored a thing and then you're sitting there and everybody's reading your thing? You're like,
I think it's mostly terrifying.
Yeah. Like maybe in a good way.
I think it's
like a purifying.
I think it's terrifying in a productive way.
Yeah.
But I think it's emotionally a very nerve-wracking experience.
Is there art, science to the writing of the 6-page memo, or just writing in general too?
It's really got to be a real memo. So it means, paragraphs have topic sentences, it's verbs and nouns. That's the other problem with PowerPoint presentations. They're often just bullet points, and you can hide a lot of sloppy thinking behind bullet points. When you have to write in complete sentences with narrative structure, it's really hard to hide sloppy thinking. So it forces the author to be at their best. And so they're getting somebody's really their best thinking. And then you don't have to spend a lot of time trying to tease that thinking out of the person. You've got it from the very beginning. So it really saves you time in the long run.
So that part is crisp and then the rest is messy. Crisp document.
Yes, and you don't want to pretend that the discussion should be crisp.
Yeah.
There's, most meetings you're trying to solve a really hard problem. There's a different kind of meeting, which we call weekly business reviews or business reviews. They may be weekly or monthly or daily, whatever they are. But these business review meetings, that's usually for incremental improvement. And you're looking at a series of metrics. Every time it's the same metrics. Those meetings can be very efficient. They can start on time and end on time.
Yeah, Jeff is absolutely right. He said that these PowerPoint presentations are hard for the listeners, but easy for the speaker. So what we have done the opposite, right? And he's also right that most of the PPT presenters, they hide behind their PPT presentations. But I understand that many corporations, they still want PPT presentations day in, day out. And so many presentations are being delivered every day and they are monotonous. So how can you make them really interesting? Wow, let's have a look. Okay, first of all, strong opener. Begin with a captivating opening to grab their attention. This could be a question, a quote, a surprising stats, or relevant anecdote. Never ever start your presentation with the slides. Build the curiosity. Build the curiosity. Make them curious. Only then they are going to listen to you. Leave everything right now and start watching Steve Jobs' first iPhone presentation. Design your slides the way he designed. Big fonts, big on visuals, less on data. What people do, there's plethora of information on the slide. Now, your listeners, they get confused whether to listen to you or look at your slides. And both of you are there, your slides and your listeners, they are always confused. Never ever make that mistake. Work on your slide design. Fonts and colors, visual aids, incorporate high quality images, charts and graphs to support the content. Ensure they are clear and relevant. Transitions, oh, don't you forget that. Open and close each section properly. Do not confuse your listeners. Structure your talk. Use smooth transitions between slides to maintain the flow. Maintain the flow. It's all about the flow. Be enthusiastic. Enthusiasm is contagious. Don't be that boring, mundane creature standing on the stage. Never ever make that mistake. Your passion for the topic will resonate with the audience. Tell a story. Oh my God, we humans have been storytellers. Why don't you add stories? Stories, they hook your audience. They grab their attention. They sustain their attention. Every fable, custom, everything is a story. So don't you forget to add storytelling. Oh, before your next presentation, anticipate questions. Prepare for potential questions beforehand to deliver informed and confident responses. Never ever. Second thing to remember, one of the most important things, never ever end your presentation with QA. QA should be your second last thing. Now here I present the king of all the points, the B button. Instantly blacks out the screen. Why do you need to do that? So that you could snatch the spotlight back from your boring PPT slides and your audience, they could refocus on you. When the screen goes blank, the audience naturally shifts their focus back to you, the presenter. This is particularly helpful if you want to emphasize a point, tell a story, or lead a discussion without the distraction of slides. Now imagine you are making a valid argument on the stage and behind you, there's this PPT slide as well. Imagine the plight of your listeners. Imagine the plight of their audience. So don't you forget to press the B button while delivering or while making a valid argument. The B button is going to be your savior. Thanks for watching our video once again. We'll keep coming up with mind-boggling ideas. Should you have any question related to the next PPT presentations, don't forget to ask in the comment section below. And if you like this video, do like it. Press the like button and don't forget to subscribe us. Bye-bye.